Venus of Urbino and Olympia. Here we have the Venus of Urbino painted by Titian. It is currently in the Uffizi Museum in Florence, Italy. Let's explore the Venus and its artist. Titian was commissioned to paint a painting as a gift to the young wife of the Duke of Urbino. For a model, he used a painting from his mentor Giorgione titled Sleeping Venus. During the Renaissance period, when painting an erotic nude, Venus, the goddess of love, was often used. People accepted this because it was not a real woman but a fictional goddess. It allowed them to look at the eroticism without guilt. Titian completed the work in 1538. The message to the wife was for her to be a faithful wife and a good mother. The Renaissance period took place between the 14th and 17th centuries. It was considered a bridge between the Middle Ages and the modern time. The word Renaissance literally means rebirth. The political climate at this time was very stable. There was no central government. There were a group of city-states run by wealthy families. These families were high-ranking members of the Catholic Church. They used their influence and money to create great works of art and literature. They encouraged free thinking by men of letters as opposed to scholarly clerics. This freedom of thought allowed the Protestant Reformation. Now that we have a general understanding of the period, let's look at Titian. Titian was born to a wealthy family in Italy in 1488. He was the most important painter in Renaissance Venice. He studied painting at the art school of Giovanni Bellini. While studying at Bellini's school, he met Giorgione, who was to become his most important teacher and mentor. He became the painter for many famous families in Venice, including the Vovier family, who he painted the Venus for. Titian also painted for Philip II of Spain, Pope Paul III, and Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. This is Olympia, painted by Manet. It is currently at the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. Let's explore Olympia and her artist. Olympia was painted by Edouard Manet for the Paris Salon of 1865. He drew his inspiration from Titian's Venus of Urbino. He used a model by the name of Victorine Meurent. It was immediately met with scorn and outrage, not for the nudity, but that she was a prostitute. He gave this prostitute a face, which was the major cause of the outrage. Olympia was painted during a time referred to as the Realism period, between the years of 1850 to 1900. At that time, Paris was the center of the art world. It was also the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. There was great movement of people from farmers living in the countryside to factory workers in the industrial cities. Politics at this time was always in flux. Although most of it was under Napoleon III, first as president of the Second Republic, he then led a coup d'etat and declared himself emperor, beginning the Second Empire. He declared war on Prussia in 1870 and was defeated in a matter of weeks. The French legislature quickly established the Third Republic. The birth of the Republic saw France occupied by foreign troops, the capital in a popular socialist insurrection, the Paris Commune, and 2 provinces annexed to Germany. Feelings of national guilt and a desire for vengeance would be major preoccupations of the French throughout the next 2 decades. The influence of the church greatly decreased at this time, and the people of France became very secular. Manet was born to an upper-class family in Paris, France, on January 23, 1832. His father, a French judge, expected him to follow in his footsteps and go into law. When this didn't work, his father suggested he go into the Navy. Manet's masterworks, The Luncheon on the Grass and Olympia, both 1863, caused great controversy and served as rallying points for the young painters who would create Impressionism. Today, these are considered watershed paintings that mark the genesis of modern art. Both Venus of Urbino and Olympia are of reclining nudes inspired by Giorgione's Sleeping Venus. Both artists painted in oils on canvas. They used the same style of layering oils, which gave the painting a soft glow. But more important, how do they differ? Venus, with her beautiful face and angelic gaze, allowed people to gaze upon this painting without guilt. Because she was a goddess, her nudity was acceptable. Olympia, on the other hand, stared out at you, challenging you to criticize her or her prostitution. Venus with the servant helping a child reminds viewers of motherhood. People did not know what to make of Olympia's black servant, and giving her flowers reminded everyone that this was the completion of a business deal. The puppy curled up sleeping at the foot of Venus made people think of her as a faithful wife. Olympia's cat had people thinking of an uncontrollable street-running tramp. So as you can see, what can be perceived as minor differences in the two paintings had a profound effect on how well the paintings were accepted by people. Venus was immediately loved by the people and recognized as a masterpiece. Olympia, on the other hand, was hated and had to be protected to keep people from destroying her.